This is Goku-san, DBZ, and today is the last, of course, day of the month, and also the last of the special anime-themed Monster Month. And this one will be the top 12 monsters from Yu-Gi-Oh! Or rather, I'm calling it the top 12 duel monsters. That sound better. First, honorable mentions. Thousand Dragon. Thousand Eyes Restrict, Buster Blader, Barrel Dragon, and Blue Eye Shining Dragon. And that's the last of the honorable mentions. Coming in at number 12 is a classic that Yugi gave to Joey Wheeler and stuff, and that was, of course, what allowed him to eventually change Baby Dragon into Thousand Dragon. And that is Time Wizard, comes in at number 12. Now, a lot of the other spots are going to be held by 2 monsters each, just to give fair warning. But Time Wizard has became a fan favorite in the series. Or at least you saw Time Wizard used in seasons 1, 2, and 3. You didn't really see Time Wizard use season 4 onward, more or less. Coming in at number 11 is a tie between what you get if you combine Summon Skull and Red Eyes Black Dragon. And that is Black Skull Dragon. And tied with Black Skull Dragon at number 11 is one of Joey Wheeler's future favorite monsters, which he gained in Season 2, and he uses in Season 3, and also in Season 4. And he also occasionally would use a little bit in Season 5, the last season. And that is Jinzo, which, of course, basic special ability allowed Jinzo, of course, to destroy trap cards. But this is the overall monsters from the show, not the dual monster cards, rather. But these are, of course, fan favorites, which are based on, of course, as I usually mention, based on opinions from Facebook, Google+, Tumblr, Twitter, and looking at some people's favorites here on YouTube, is how I put this list together. Coming in at number 10 is a creature that Maximilian Pegasus loves, but, of course, our dear Seto Kaiba absolutely despises. And that is Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. Because we all know how Maximilian Pegasus was obsessed over toons, with his dear beloved Toon World. His Toon Summon Skull, his Toon Gemini Elves and everything, but Blue Eyes Toon Dragon definitely was the coolest. And it's awesome because it just so fit perfectly with Maximilian Pegasus, which is hands down one of my, probably from the show, is probably number 2 or possibly, probably my number 2 favorite character from the entire series. I never watched the branch off 3 shows, GX or any of theirs. I only watched the original series. And coming in at number 9 is a tie between what you get if you combine Suijin, Raijin, and Kazejin together. You create what? It's in the same class as Exodia, and this creature is called the Gate Guardian, which is incredibly powerful. 3,750 attack points total, and combine the special abilities of each of the 3 monsters that it takes to create Gate Guardian. He's insanely overpowered creature. Definitely probably one of the top 10, top 20 creatures in the entire game, without a doubt. Definitely one of the strongest. And tied with it is now what you get when you use the magic card and sacrifice creatures to create with the magic card Shinato's Arc, and you get the creature known as Shinato, King of a Higher Plane, which Shinato was only used in one battle, the final major battle on the first half of Season 3 of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! And that is, of course, the true heir to Kaiba Corp, the biological son of Gozaburo Kaiba, and that being, of course, the one who controls, obviously, being Noah Kaiba. And Noah was an interesting character, I will say. Somewhat, maybe one of the more underrated, say, bad slash, yeah, more or less was mainly a douche, but you kind of felt sorry for him when you really looked at his story arc. But Shinato's King of a Higher Plane, awesome creature, with 3,200 attack points, and a very nice little special ability it had also. But definitely one of the more powerful, but also a really cool overall design and look. I thought one of the more interesting, and I love like the whole spirit creatures and stuff. And I thought Shinato was in generally a cool, and apparently a lot of people enjoyed also Shinato, given response from fans and how popular the card was. Coming in at number 8 is also another tie. It is between Dragon Master Knight, which is basically the fusion of... Yeah, it's basically a combination of Black Luster Soldier and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Technically, it's more powerful overall than the others, but it's not as popular overall, plus it only made a few appearances, but super powerful creature nevertheless. And tied with it is the one that takes 5 dragons to create with polymerization, and you need a dragon of each of the 5 normal types, which are, of course, you need a dragon fire type, you need a water type, air type, you need a darkness type, and you need a earth type. You need all those to combine to create this, which is known as Five-Headed Dragon, or the Mythical Dragon, of course, which is insanely overpowered with 5,000 attack points, and given it can only be destroyed by a creature of light, is a nice little stipulation to that creature's ability. And definitely a popular one, I will say, over the years, given how many reprints they've done of the card, shows how popular it was, but also, of course, in general, had pretty good response from fans at the end of Season 1, when you saw it for the first time, which is why they brought it back towards the middle of Season 3, because fans really were pretty positive overall towards the creature. Coming in number 7 is a tie between Black Luster Soldier, which is pretty cool, and it's tied with a Summon Skull, which is, of course, the signature of Yugi's, other than, of course, also Black Luster Soldier. Both cool, but Summon Skull's overall design, I personally thought was a much cooler overall design, and I just liked the whole look of Summon Skull. It was just cool looking, and also using the electricity and stuff was just awesome. Keep in mind, that's just my personal opinion. I thought the overall design was nice, but it was definitely hands down one of the more popular, probably one of Yugi's top 5 most popular monsters among fans. Coming in at number 6, another tie between a special ritual monster which has 0 attack points, 0 defense points, and that is Relinquished, which was only seen once in the game, which of course was at the end of Season 1, and that being used by, obviously, our dear Maximilian Pegasus, which is an awesome character again, and it's tied with Harpy Lady, which of course is definitely one of probably the top 10 most popular monsters from the entire show. Thanks to, of course, My Valentine, of course, obviously, helping make the Harpy Lady really popular, and of course Harpy Sisters, then you have Cyber Harpy and all these branch outs later on. So yeah, that shows the influence of this particular creature. Coming in at number 5 with actually no tie, Dark Magician Girl, which is definitely a fan favorite easily. Probably, I would say among fans of Yugi's creatures, maybe like his fourth or possibly third most popular monster. And given you've seen her from season 2 all the way through season 5, says how popular that Dark Magician Girl is. Coming in at number 4 is another tie. It's between Red Eyes Black Dragon, which is definitely another one of the top 10 fan favorites, and of course being the signature of Joseph or Joey Wheeler. I could have been a contender. I know, I can't do Joey Wheeler's voice, sadly. It's tied with, of course, the beautiful Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is definitely another one of the fan favorites, and probably, in general, Kaiba's second most popular monster. Though it's a fusion with, obviously, his most popular. And both, in general, really cool monsters. Coming in at number 3 is a tie between all 3 Egyptian god monsters. Obelisk the Tormentor, also known as God Soldier. Slifer the Sky Dragon, also known as the Winged Dragon of Osiris. And the Winged Dragon of Ra, which is also known as Heaven's Dragon. Now, those second names I mentioned are the Japanese names for them. And then the first are the American names for them. But yes, hands down, the God cards, God monsters, the most powerful cards ever in the game, but an awesome design. Now, among most fans, I would say probably the most popular, obviously, is the Winged Dragon of Ra among fans, though my personal favorite is probably Obelisk the Tormentor, just because I love that Fist of Fate attack. Interesting, given that's also the name of the attack that a little Digimon named Angemon uses, also called Fist of Fate. So kind of interesting, except one is just super powerful giant fist, while Angemon shoots a blast of light energy out of it, which is something that seems more like a DBZ type thing. Just saying. Coming in at number 2, the signature monster of the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, basically. Obelisk the Tormentor. I mean, not Obelisk the Tormentor, sorry. Mess up, that was last. Exodia the Forbidden One, which of course takes 5 cards to create Exodia, though the signature being just the head of Exodia. And it's not easy to come by all 5 cards. At least if you want the original version, all 5 holographs. And it's interesting how they censored the American version, showing the background makes out a spellbinding circle that Exodia is on. In the Japanese version, Exodia sits on a pentagram, which is interesting, how so much stuff was censored from the... Because if you watch some of the uncut versions of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, the 13 upgrade versions, yeah, there's a lot of stuff censored, because there was a lot of pinnacles and pentagrams in the show. And I'd say, obviously, they censored that, being it became Y7 over here, but also they were afraid of the backlash. Because people, some parents and stuff didn't react too well to some animes using a lot of pentacles and pentagrams and stuff. In a few selective anime, such as ones like Night Warriors, which was the mature version of Darkstalkers, and many other more popular animes used also pentagrams, and they kind of censored that stuff out because they were afraid of the backlash of the evangelical Christians, which is understanding. They will overreact on a lot of stuff. Kind of how, in general, they attack a lot of, in general, most anime, and will attack video games also. One of the few things they tend to agree with a lot of people on the far left: censorship. Just saying. Number 1 is a tie, obviously, between the signature monster of Yugi and the signature monster of Kaiba. Probably the two most beloved monsters throughout the show. And that being, of course, the Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon, tied at number 1. Was it really a surprise that Blue Eyes White Dragon and Dark Magician would be number 1, the top 12 duel monsters? Probably not really, if you look at overall popularity and how many reprints and multiple different versions of the monster they've done. I've seen probably 5 different designs of Blue Eyes White Dragon, and at least probably 3 different designs of Dark Magician. And you don't really have that on many other cards, with the exception of maybe a little monster like Red Eyes Black Dragon. That's one of the only others that has more than one version. But that is top 12 duel monsters in the last of this month. And also a few announcements I want to make. Of course, as always, thumbs up this video, like, subscribe, please leave a comment below, and please let us know about my channel. Tell me what your favorite duel monsters are from Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm glad that people out there have been enjoying my Street Fighter Unlimited comics, which I say will be a few weeks before I can do issue 4, because I have to wait for it to obviously be released to comic book stores. And until then, and this will be my next comic book review, which is a special first issue of a special crossover, though all of the actual artwork and everything was done by strictly IDW, and you can tell that from the actual artwork on the actual Street Fighter characters, like Ryu and Guile. Well, Guile doesn't look too much different. Well, Bison has a little bit of a different design, but yeah, you can see the difference. But this was a special crossover tournament thing, and I'll be reviewing this in the next day. Issue 1 of Street Fighter G.I. Joe, so stay tuned for that special comic book review. And also in the future, I'm planning on doing a special game review of a game I just recently got a hold of, haven't played in years, for the original PlayStation, Bushido Blade 2, which is an awesome game done by Squaresoft, makers of, course, or rather now Square Enix, makers of pretty much most of the major JRPG Final Fantasy series, as well as Kingdom Hearts and others. But this was a fighting game. What made it so unique is that you didn't have normal life gauges. The only way to win was to strictly use one critical hit to take them out. You could do basic hits to not kill someone. You have to use a critical, like, death blow in order to kill your opponent. And it was cool. It allowed you a free range and stuff, move around freely around the environment. Graphics aren't the best, but graphics aren't everything. Gameplay is fun, and it's a really enjoyable game, and I recommend you check out Bushido Blade. But yeah, I'll be reviewing Bushido Blade 2 pretty soon. So I hope you enjoy that. And now, the song pick of the week, and as I mentioned last week, I'm not the biggest rap fan, but I chose to do a rap song this week, or, well, technically, you might consider a cross between, like, hip-hop or rap, I'm not sure. And this is a song done by a very interesting, unique group, that being the Gorillaz. And the song, which I'm sure a lot of you out there have heard of again before, I just really like it, and it's called Feel Good Inc., which is a really interesting music video, to say the least. I like that the whole group is like animated. I just really enjoyed that. But as always, I'll see you, of course, again next Sunday. Will be the first of a special month long, which will be music themed month. All top 12 lists will be strictly of artists every week. And starting off next week will be actually a pop group. The top 12 Coldplay songs for week 1. Week 2 will be the top 12 Red songs from the alternative hard rock band Red. Week 3 will be the top 12 Megadeth songs. Week 4 will be the top 12, not as popular group, but I figure I'd show a little bit of respect towards this band, and that is the top 12 Fozzy songs. And I may try to do here and there a few special top 12 lists of a few other artists. I'm thinking about possibly, give me feedback, let me know if you want it. I'm thinking about maybe doing a top 12 Linkin Park list, and possibly also do a top 12 of a German thrash metal band called Primal Fear, do a top 12 list of them. Instead of just strictly super well-known groups, give a little bit of chance to some more indie groups less well-known. But anyways, I'll see you next time here on YouTube Land, and please give me feedback. I like to get ideas for future top 12 lists.